Optimizing indexes. Introduction. The Optimizing Indexes module provides you with the instructions and devices to develop your hands-on skills in the following topics: querying dynamic management objects to verify current index usage, identifying missing indexes using dynamic management objects. Exercise 1. Querying dynamic management objects to verify current index usage. Dynamic management objects are a set of SQL Server objects. They are stored in the system schema. They help you monitor the activities of the server instances. They track the resources used by the server instances activities. The DMOs provide information regarding the connection sessions, transactions, and SQL statements, process, and so on of a database schema. In addition, the DMOs also track the server workload distribution, high workload areas, and so on. You can use the DMO provided information to troubleshoot in case of a breakdown in any of the server activities. The troubleshooting process can include altering the query statement, gaining information about the indexes to optimize indexing strategy, or terminating a block session. The DMOs extract the information and display it in the form of views known as dynamic management views. The DMOs also display the information as table value function known as dynamic management functions. In this exercise, you will learn to use DMOs to obtain information about the current index usage. Task 1. Work with DMO to track current index usage. Indexes are temporary lock-up tables. They facilitate the database search engine to speed up the data retrieval process. An efficient index must optimize the table reading process. In other words, an index must read only the required information from the table in a logical manner to ensure minimum workload. To design an effective index design, you need to consider the following essential information. 1. Knowledge of the database design. 2. Data distribution in the tables. 3. Query patterns to extract data, and so on. The DMOs help in creating an efficient indexing strategy by obtaining information on indexes. Some of the indexing DMOs that help retrieve current indexing information in the form of DMBs and DMVFs are as follows. 1. sys.dmdb index usage stats. It tracks the number of indexes currently in use or that has been used in the past. 2. sys.dmdb index operational stats. It tracks the usage pattern of the current indexes in use. 3. sys.dmdb missing index details or sysdmdb missing index group stats. It tracks the missing indexes in the database schema. The following fields in sys.dmdb index usage stats provide information about the index. User 6. It lists the number of indexes in the table. User scans. It shows the number of index scans performed on the table. User lookups. It displays the number of index lookups in the table. User updates. It shows the number of insert, update, and delete operations performed on the table. The sys.indexes view contains details about each index or group of tabular objects such as tables, view, or table-valued functions. The details in the columnar form of the view include index ID, object ID, type, this, and so on. In this task, you will learn to use sys.dmdb index usage stats and sys.indexes to obtain current index usage information. Step 1. Ensure you have powered on the required devices and connect to FlabSQL1. You will already connected. Step 2. From the FlabSQL1 desktop, click Start and click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. The Connect to Server dialog box appears. From the Server Type drop-down list, click Database Engine. In the server name text box, type FlabSQL1 Database Engine, then click Connect. Step 3. The SQL Server Management Studio window opens. In the Object Explorer, click to expand the Databases folder. Step 4. To select the database from the list of databases, click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3. To create a new query from the query ribbon, click New Query. Step 5. The New Query pane opens. Step 6. To use sys.dmdb index usage stats and sys indexes and extract index usage information, type the following query in the new query pane. Just copy it and paste it here. This query extracts fields such as user 6, user scans, user lookups, user updates from sys.dmdb index usage stats dmb. The sys.dmdb index usage stats view is joined with sys.indexes view using inner join. The inner join checks for matching index IDs and object IDs where the object property function is passed with parameters as that object ID and expression is user table. The expression checks whether the object is a user table. Step 7. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 8. To view the rest of the fields index usage stats view, scroll horizontally to the right on the result pane. The rest of the fields are now visible. Happen loads. Paste it again. What happened? I don't know what happened. Let's go for the next slide. Exercise to identifying missing indexes using dynamic management objects. You can use two methods to identify missing indexes. The methods are as follows: query the demo to return the information on missing indexes, and the other one include the execution plan of the query to identify the missing indexes. You can use the following demos to help identify the missing indexes: sys.db dm missing index groups stats. It provides summarized information about the missing index group. Sys.db dm missing index groups. It gives information about the missing indexes included in a specific group of missing indexes. Sys.db dm missing index details. It displays detailed information about the missing indexes. Sys.db dm missing index column. It gives information about the database table fields that are not having an index. In this exercise, you will learn to use execution plan and demo to identify missing indexes. Task 1. Work with the execution plan of the query to identify a missing index. You will execute a query that requires reference to an index. However, the index is missing in the table. The execution plan will suggest the inclusion of the missing index and provide details of the missing query. In this task, I will identify the missing index from the execution plan of the query. Step 1. To create a new query to trigger the missing indexes suggestions from the query pane, click New Query. I already know that. Type the following query in the new query pane. Just copy it and paste it here. This query retrieves the customer key, first name, birth date, and marital status fields from the dim customer table of those customers whose first name is Julio. Note, this query will scan the dim customer table each time to find the records for matching first name Julio. This query can be optimized if we create an index on first name field of the table and refer the query to the index instead of the dim customer table. Step 2. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Step 3. To check the query performance, click the query menu and click include actual execution plan. Query menu. Then include actual execution plan. Step 4. To run the query, click execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed in the result pane along with the execution plan tab. Step 5. To view the execution plan of the query, click execution plan tab from the result pane. The complete execution plan of the current query appears. On the top of the section of the results pane, notice that the missing index message appears. Okay. Step 6. To view the missing index details, right-click on the message. From the context menu, click Missing Index Details. Step 7. The missing index details appear in the query pane. Note, the recommended missing index details are displayed. Before implementing the index in an actual production environment, it is important to test the implementation and deployment of the index in a test environment. Without testing the index implementation in a test environment, the index may block or lock the system. Task 2. Work with DMOs to identify a missing index. You will use the combination of sys.dmdb missing index groups and sys.dmdb missing index group stats. DMOs to identify the missing index in the following query. Note, this task will display the missing index details in a table format. In this task, you will learn to use DMOs to identify the missing index in the given query by executing a standard query. The task will help you identify the benefits of creating an index on the DEM customer table. Step 1. To create a new query, click the New Query pane. To implement the DMO, to identify the missing index, type the following query in the New Query pane. Just copy it, then paste it here. Paste. This query uses 3 DBMS. DMBs, The result of the query is sorted by index advantage. The query uses inner join to join the DMBs. The SQL Server Optimizer identifies the missing indexes and provides the result set in the form of a table. Step 2. To run the query, click Execute or press F5. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Close all active windows. Next. Summary. I covered the following activities in this module: querying dynamic management objects to verify current index usage, and identifying missing indexes using dynamic management objects. Done.